trying to, in a way, force people to buy my stuff. Yeah, of course everyone's different, but yeah, I do feel conflicted about how I feel about things in general, like objects in general. I used to collect the Guinness Book of Records from when I was like 7, and then I just stopped randomly, and then I now have them more, and I tried to get rid of them, and I just thought, what is the actual point in me having all of these things? I never look at them. Like, I can enjoy things without having to own them. An American person has like 300,000 objects in their house. That's actually mental. I was like, what the fuck? And then so they set this new challenge, which I don't even think I could actually do. Where I was like, and then for a month, get rid of something each day by that time, that number I mean. Yeah, I kind of was like, I don't think I need to do it. I'm quite good at looking at stuff and thinking, I don't need that anymore. I used to be such a hoarder though. Well, when I was growing up, I grew up with my dad, and my mum lived on the other side of the country. So, whatever she bought me, I would like keep, just because she bought it from me. So I held on to stuff for like 15 years, because it was like, even if it was like I had grown out of it or something, just because she bought it to me and then for me. Yeah, and then after I went travelling a couple of times, I was just like, why the fuck do I own all this shit? And then I just was like, literally don't need that. I got rid of like 300 books or something, and just looked at stuff and thought, well, if I don't even look at you or I don't remember owning you, then what's the fucking point? And especially having moved like 9 times in Berlin or whatever it is now, you kind of get a bit bored of doing that all the time. It's really interesting when you do simple or minimal work that a lot of people have this idea that it's easier to do and simpler to do, whereas sometimes I could spend like 13 hours on one of my drawings and it could be like a square. And that just makes me laugh, because you think no one would ever fucking think that when they look at it. They'd just be like, oh great, it's a square. Like, that couldn't have taken much time, when actually it could be the total opposite. So I also find that quite an interesting concept. This was part of my final year piece at uni, and I think I like asked around all my family members and stuff for like £500 for this like 5mm acrylic or 6mm acrylic, and I did like 3 sculptures on this huge plinth, and I was like being ironic about how it was. I was talking about oil and how much there's left of it, that I used all acrylic, and then the examiner marked me down loads because she was like, well, why is he doing it like that then? And I was just like, well, that was kind of the point. I always thought I started it at uni, but I remembered on the way here. Actually, because I saw this like old children's toy, like this plastic, like the ones that they sit in and they get pushed along. And then I walked past it and I thought, oh, that would have been like so the thing that I would have loved when I was at college. And when I was at college, I made this figure of a person made from like old parts like that. So like the handle would be like the leg and a foot, and like it had like a Thomas Tank Engine one where like the face was like the knee or something. And that was like the first time where I like found random crap and made it into something. But there was no real like environmental reason behind it to begin with, I don't think. I just liked utilising what I could find. And then when I got to uni, I did a craft degree. So I was trying to, well, every Wednesday we had these lectures, and it was like, here's another glass object, oh, here's another glass object, and it was so fucking boring. So then I was questioning why plastic could be considered a craft material, and especially as there's so much of it in the world, and loads of it just gets thrown away. So then I was like arguing also whether it was fine art or if it was craft. And then I was researching into more about the origins of the material and got really interested in the history of it and how it was made and everything. No, I got like really obsessed with it at one point. About the eco side of it. Yeah, that was like a passion for a while. Not that it's not anymore, but I was really hot on it and researching all the time about how countries dealt with pollution and what have you. And then in my final year I was researching into oil and oil reserves of certain countries and stuff. And how long each country had left and of their oil and when there was a predicted time that it was going to run out and all of this stuff. I used to go beach combing a lot because in Cornwall obviously you're like always next to the sea. And I used to just like go off and like walk on the beach and I used to find it like really therapeutic. Because you would find like the most random shit. And I somehow like really loved I loved how the journey was always like really interesting to me. Like, where has this been and like, what has it seen? It's weird because I have like a love-hate relationship with plastic. I really love how the sea always weathered certain pieces. So like, the discoloration of them and the wearing of the form and stuff. That always like really amazed me. And then also I could really work with that somehow. But what's interesting now I realise with this new stuff is that now I question how much I take an object that I find away from its original point of how I found it. So if I cut a piece off or if I change the colour of it, is it still the same object? I found this theory called, I think it's called like grandfather's axe, where it argues about like if you replace the head of the axe and then change the handle, is it still the same thing? And I thought that was like really fitting with what I've been doing lately. My skanky tissue. Better fucking work. I'm a bit scared to touch it. Yes! Yes! That's good, I'm glad.